Happy Memorial Day weekend. It is May 24th. I want to give a shout out to my son, Joshua Morgan. He's turns 31 this weekend, and I just thank God for you, son. Uh, you bring a lot of joy in my life. It's about you this weekend. Have a wonderful day. And because this is Memorial Day weekend, I want to honor all the veterans and those hardworking individuals we call Americans that keep us safe in these evil times. I want to thank the fire department. I want to thank LAPD, Inglewood PD, Long Beach. Um, Especially shout out because I'm thinking about my son who had a situation before I moved to LA. When my son went to USC, he was going to Crespi Carmelite in Encino. He was transferred there from Taft from a shooting that occurred at a bus stop, and a person was injured and almost lost their life. That affected me. I was about 340 pounds at that time, and I got that phone call that my son was possibly shot, and I ran all the way up Ventura Boulevard with other parents to see if indeed my son had been affected. When I got down there, the news media had the camera in my face. I was out of breath, and I saw my son, and he was able to get in the vehicle, and that's what made my son leave Taft High School and go to Crespi Carmelite. It was a Catholic school, and that incident, when my son went to Crespi Carmelite, there was an issue where him and his friends were hanging out in Granada Hills and having a good time. We lived in Granada Hills, and that whole police unit called me on their private phone about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and one of their friends had run down the alley, and it was and the police did not shoot him in his back. There are some good officers, so I salute them. They called me as a mom. My husband was out of town with my oldest son, traveling, I guess what, or my baby son, one or the other. And God is so good that He allowed that police officer to see good in my son, and he did not arrest. I think it was 4 of them at that time, and I went to that police station at one point and thanked them. That's how the type of person I am. So I'm not a snitch. That's why I'm making this video. I'm free. That's the part about the American, is the freedom of speech. Some people, they don't talk like me. Some people, everybody has but when you grind to get a job that protects and saves people's life, we need to salute those. And then to those who lost children, like Trayvon Martin, and it just goes down, the list goes on. I did not lose my son. And so that's why, once again, why I attach myself to WeTheBusiness.com, because that is a platform that I know gives back in our community and other communities, not just, and I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, and I wanted to help somebody today because I used to work for Inglewood Park Cemetery at the beginning of 2016, a little bit after my surgery, and I ended up getting my license to sell plots, and so it's called a Gold Crusader plan at Inglewood Park Cemetery to help those that are struggling with burying their children. I'm doing this to show somebody what you can do. Even my grandparents, they were buried on a plan, and they were buried in I posted before. They're posted in Forest Lawn where Michael Jackson was buried. It's called pre-planning. And when you pre-plan, you can have the best of the best. It's like layaway. So it's called the Gold Crusader plan. And then they have interment spaces, burial vaults, and memorials. And they'll finance you. And below ground burial, this is what it looks like. Now this is pricing from 2016. It has gone up because now this is prime property here in Inglewood. And yesterday Mayor Butts talked about the things that were happening in the areas that are the lower parts of Inglewood and the more expensive parts. Well, this is the more expensive part. That would be across the street from the Forum, where a lot of the concerts are being done. Cardi B has performed there. I mean, Travis Scott. It's just been a lot of people performing. I wish Nino Brown could come out and perform because he used to work along with DJ Khaled. That's who he got his start. So anyway, family emergency record file, and it's confidential. It has my name on it. I worked there. This was my sample, and I got it in February of 2016. It's $150. You can purchase it on your own, so that way when you're stressed out and someone passes away, you'll be able to just hand it to someone that you trust, and you don't have to go over what is what. So the life record, if you're married, this is for my ex-husband. He had all this. I filled all this out. I have all this life records, when we got married, when we divorced, all that stuff, and his mom and his dad, me, my life record, my name, my address, who I work for. I work for Uber, Lyft, We the Business. I promote them heavily. And then if you don't know the information when filling it out, if you don't fill it out with a counselor, you put TBD, to be determined, until they have the information they need. So don't let nothing stop you from filling this out. Then you have your memorial preference of your spouse, significant other, how they want to be buried. Do they want to be buried in the ground? Do they want interment? Do they want cremation? I checked off ground. You want public or private? Some people are public, and other people, public is where everybody can come out to. Private is where you select the people. And so our pastor. And then moral preference for the wife, same thing. I have ground burial choice. And then I like forest lawn. I want to be buried near my grandparents. You know, whatever your preference is. It asks your religious background. I'm apostolic. I put that on there. My pastor, who you want to sing your music, all that stuff. If you don't know, you have to sit down with the other person. Relatives and friends who will be invited. And then you put that down, and who's related. This would be the husband side. Those are the friends. This is all of your spouse or significant other. That's what your page will look like. Then you go to the relatives and friends of your wife, which would be me, but I won't be alive. But this is all filled out on who can attend. Then you have your assets and liabilities. You write that down. As you can see, I have the dates and all that stuff filled out. Documents, you have to put, if you don't know, you don't know, and you put to be determined, and they'll have to prove a document if you have untimely death. Social Security, you have to put the social security numbers of the person and whatever the information. Veterans, shout out to my Uncle Musa, my Uncle Gerald Boatwright. I appreciate them for their years with the Navy. Price E. Boatwright, my grandpa, he's the one that was in the Navy, gun-toting man. So here you go. All of this is to be determined because I don't have that information. Personal requests for your spouse. I don't know any of his information. And then you put all the stuff on here. For the wife, I put all my stuff. Clothing, wigs, shoes, purses, panties, bras, stockings, so forth and so on. And I put the beneficiary, I don't know, to be determined. And so you have to get a will in California or wherever you're at. So then this is the other part that I haven't filled out. But anyway, you do not have to beg and panhandle. You can go and call any place that you want to be buried. They have all types of places, and it just, this is something like getting a bank account, a savings account. You have to start putting money away for emergencies. And so I hope everybody has a good weekend, and once again, happy birthday, Jomo. I love you, and I thank you for all the years of laughter. And it's not about anyone else right now. It's about you. Enjoy your day. You're a hardworking man like your dad. So just keep going. wethebusiness.com.